Ah, Valentine's Day, the time for love, the time for chocolates, the time for realizing that you're alone and you'll always be alone. Welcome back to the Roundtable, I'm Retro Nemo, and on that depressing note, I want to talk to you guys about relationships, not real ones. Now, we thought about doing a list of the top 10 couples, and that just seemed so corny to us. So we're gonna spin it the other way, guys. Today, we're gonna be talking about the top 10 weirdest couples in animation. There's so many iconic cartoon couples, but today we're gonna take a look at the ones that are just a little out there, that don't make that much sense, but they're still in love anyways. And in the end, isn't that the whole point? God, I should write Hallmark cards. Some clarifications, this is in no particular order. I don't even know how you'd rank a list like this. We're just gonna be talking about weird couples. So without further ado, let's get started. Now, SpongeBob on paper is a weird enough concept for a show as it is. I mean, a talking sponge who lives in a pineapple, it's out there, okay? So it makes sense that the show's villain, who's literally a tiny plankton, has an even weirder relationship with Karen, an intelligent computer. The idea of a tiny sea plankton and a computer finding love is truly the most beautiful thing I can imagine. Karen is truly Plankton's better half, who works at the Chum Bucket with him, though there's not a lot of business. She's there to give him advice when he needs it, to help out with his evil plans. She even technically started off the whole SpongeBob movie by suggesting that he tried Plan Z.
Plan Z, here it is! Just like you said!
Oh boy.
But the idea of somebody being in a romantic relationship with a computer raises a lot of questions when you think about the logistics. And no, I'm not taking it there. Get your mind out of the gutter. I'm talking more like, do they go on dates? Does Karen eat anything? I mean, she makes Plankton holographic meatloaf, and that's adorable.
My favorite!
Overall, Karen's sassy, and a lot of her episodes are pretty standout episodes of SpongeBob, including one where she kicks out Plankton for just being the worst. Her deadpan delivery and memorable lines makes her one of the best SpongeBob characters, but it's definitely a weird relationship.
Karen, baby, I haven't felt this giddy since the day you agreed to be my wife.
I never agreed.
Okay, this one isn't like the weirdest, they're just both two humans. The thing that gets me for here is their possible age difference. Ferb, of course, being the brother and titular character of the series, and Vanessa, Doofenshmirtz's daughter. They would always interact in the series, and it was implied that there was something there. For instance, there's an episode where they go to Paris, and like something romantic almost happens. Ferb buys her a flower, and it really is kind of cute.
It's just that I just don't know what to do.
Well, sometimes if you love somebody, you have to meet them halfway.
And in one of the last episodes when they're all teenagers, it's shown that Ferb and Vanessa are dating. But let me run the numbers here really quick, because I'm pretty sure that Ferb's a kid. I mean, canonically, Ferb's age is between the ages of 7 and 12 years old. If Vanessa's 16, that's a 9-year age difference, potentially. And even if they didn't start dating until they were both older, that would mean she probably had kind of feelings for child Ferb, which freaks me out. The whole thing just rubs me the wrong way. Imagine if it was like Jeremy and Isabella. That's kind of the same ballpark. It's kind of weird. Look, man, I'm happy for them, and they are a cute couple when Ferb's like cool and old and artsy, but it just leaves a lot that's implied that rubs me the wrong way.
Ferb?
Vanessa?
No matter where we go, Ferb knows everyone.
Soos and Giffany, or is it Giffany? I'm talking about the classic episode of Gravity Falls, Soos and the Real Girl, where Soos ends up in a healthy, happy relationship by the end of it. But at the beginning, Soos fell in love with a dating simulator. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. That's kind of what happened.
You're pretty. Yes!
In the episode Soos and the Real Girl, Soos wanted to get better at talking to women. It led him to getting a dating simulator game that later turned out to be cursed. But before Giffany turned out to be evil and tried to kill Soos, he seemed pretty happy playing that game and having this fake girlfriend. So yes, I kinda count them as a relationship technically. Now this is kinda like Plankton, just more depressing.
Hey, Giffany, we gotta talk.
Of course, I am programmed to find everything you say interesting.
I mean, Soos may have ended up in a healthy relationship by the end of the episode, but it makes me wonder what would have happened if he just never met that other girl. Would Soos still be playing with Giffany all the time?
This game is amazing. I'm making eye contact,
going on dates, and I haven't seen any natural sunlight for 13 hours.
I mean, he was spending all his time with her. He even missed hours of the Mystery Shack. Seuss never does that. I give kudos to Gravity Falls for adding what is a pretty true to form dating simulator into their show, but part of me wonders what was going through Seuss's mind while he was playing. Also, canonically, Giffany did kill people, which is actually really dark. Like, she killed people canonically in the show. Now look, don't get mad at me. I know they technically weren't dating, okay? Maybe they're not like a real couple, and Seuss has a girlfriend by the end of the episode. I'm doing air quotes right now. But I keep going back to that question. If he had never met a human girl, would Seuss have ever left that game? How far would it have gotten? What would Seuss have done? It makes a boy wonder. I guess it's up to interpretation. Probably nothing though. Probably not a lot. This segment's kind of dumb.
What would you like to talk about?
I'd rather just click your face. Yeah.
Now, I'm not expecting a show like Family Guy to nail the complexities of human relationships, and I realize they've even dedicated episodes to Peter and Lois, showing them as a young couple, how they fell in love. But let's be honest, okay? Lois is like the stereotypical hot wife character. There's absolutely no reason why Lois would be with Peter or stay with Peter. They may try to go into some dumb backstory, but at the end of the day, she's just the unrealistic hot wife trope, King of Queens style. I don't know anybody that could live with Peter Griffin, let alone be married to him. And her character is just too normal in contrast to how insane Peter is. It's just kind of cheap to me. But I'm gonna be honest, I'm not really here to talk about Peter or Lois, because their relationship's stupid and dumb. It doesn't make any sense. What I really want to talk about is how weird Quagmire is as a character. He's like literally a rapist. Like, it's uncomfortable, it's not funny. I get giggity giggity is like a catchphrase, but this is like really not good. Like the he does, that freaky creepy smile. I'm just putting this whole segment to how weird Quagmire is as a character. This is officially the Quagmire segment. Maybe one day they'll write him out or something, but that smile is so scary. Like, to have a rapist in your show at all is a weird concept, but to have him being a rapist, like the punchline of him as a character, and you can look this up, canonically he is a rapist.
Now can I have my own show, Peter?
Quagmire, you're a rapist.
Not to mention the fact that Quagmire is canonically 61 years old.
Wait a second, you were born in 1948?
Yeah.
Which just instantly makes everything so much creepier. If you're sitting there right now trying to defend Quagmire, saying he's not creepy, here's a compilation of just some of the creepy things he's done over the course of the series.
I got a package for you, too. All right.
I wonder what happened to Cindy.
Look at that. That's an old man.
Ugh. Can we bring the music down really quick? This is weird, Seth MacFarlane. This is weird. Why do you have this character in your show? Why do you think his jokes are funny? Do you just have that many, like, sex offender jokes in your repertoire? You make me sick, Seth MacFarlane. And your stupid Star Trek show is dumb. That's all I gotta say. Endive and Schnitzel. Okay, did anybody see this coming? This was a pretty twist relationship to come at the very tail end of Chowder. Now, they were never a couple in the show, but instead it was revealed that they were together in the sort of epilogue of the series, when they were explaining where all the characters ended up. And man, oh man, like, what a plot twist. Endive, the creepy, oddly sexual being that was just the series' sort of bizarre antagonist and rival chef to Mung Daal, and Schnitzel, the lovable rock human thing who doesn't speak English. Is it bad that it kind of makes sense when you see it? I don't know, I never would have predicted this in 1,000 years, but come to think of it, Endive and Schnitzel do kind of have a history. In the season 3 episode, The Heist, Schnitzel and Endive actually go on a date together, though it's not genuine. Schnitzel is trying to distract her while Mung and Chowder steal her sugar sapphires, and the date's super awkward and hard to watch.
Or do you say we kick this date up a notch and head back to my place for a little dessert?
I'm happy for them because they both look happy, but man, this is a weird couple. These have got to be two of the weirdest one-off characters in all of SpongeBob. In the episode I'm with Stupid, Patrick is trying to impress his parents, and he actually uses SpongeBob as the butt of the joke to make himself look better. But by the end of the episode, Patrick's actual parents get there, and he realizes that the people he's been trying to impress this whole time are not his parents. And it's never explained who they are. They even have a moment where they realize it's not their son, and then they kind of just leave. There's so many questions, like why were they there? Why did they think to show up there at all? Why did they go to that specific rock? shock. There's so many questions with this. I actually saw a pretty excellent Reddit theory by user Love Supreme, I think their name is, who sounds like they've absolutely nailed it. The basis of their theory is that Janet and Marty are Patrick's biological parents, and when his other parents show up, those are actually his adopted parents who raised Patrick. So Patrick going to them and accepting them as his real parents is him telling his biological parents that they're not his parents after all. They weren't there to raise him. And when Janet and Marty say, that's right, we don't have a son, it's not a goofy line, it's them realizing that the son they thought they had biologically really isn't theirs because he was adopted by someone else. It's super dark, but you know what? It makes sense. Either way, these guys are weird sociopathic imposters. I don't even know if they're actually married or if this is some weird ruse they do. I don't know which child they're gonna attack next. The whole situation's bizarre and hilarious, so yeah, they're definitely a weird couple.
Janet? Marty? Who are you people?
Stan and Wendy. What a weird couple. I mean, the owner of the Mystery Shack and his employee that's pretty much a teenager. Wait, what? Oh, Stan and Wendy are a couple from South Park? This whole segment was just a bit? It wasn't funny at all, and I should just move on? People are clicking off this video right now? Even this part of the joke's not funny anymore? I'm just going on and... Now, most sitcom cartoon parents have their trials and tribulations. There's been countless episodes of The Simpsons where Marge and Homer have been fighting, and I don't even know if Peter and Lois interact enough to be considered a married couple, but I'm sure they've fought before. But I've never seen a relationship so blatantly toxic as Jerry and Beth. So much so that they actually got a divorce, and then ended up getting back together. I mean, they're so dysfunctional. Also, this is just my personal opinion, but they kind of ruined season 3 with their stupid divorce plotline. You might disagree with me on that. That's okay. Discussion is necessary, but I'm still kind of salty at them.
This isn't the woman you married, Jerry. Because this woman loves you.
I give the show credit for totally going into their backstory and delving into their relationship as a real complex human relationship. I mean, Jerry and Beth are real characters, but they're so dysfunctional that it's scary.
You should never, ever, ever have gotten together, and I do not understand how or why you would ever stay together.
And considering that most or all of their interactions are toxic, just shows how depressing marriage can really be. But yeah, their marriage ruined season 3. That's all I gotta say.
The two of you are the worst.
This relationship is a biological nightmare. I'm not even gonna get into the size differences between a dragon and a donkey. I don't want to think about how they live together or how that works. Do they sleep in the same bed? Can they fit in the same bed? I'm not even gonna point out the fact that dragon can't even talk, which makes me wonder how donkey knows what she's trying to communicate with. There's so many logistical things that makes no sense. Also, dragons aren't real, and she started out as a villain, which is even weirder. Maybe donkey has some weird kink for villains or something. I'm not even touching on the fact that they had kids, which implies so much more than I wanted to ever be implied about these two. Despite this, they are a cute, wholesome couple, I think, from what I can tell. I mean, they're the second most wholesome relationship in Shrek. Of course, besides Shrek and Fiona. Hashtag love wins. I can't even begin to fathom this, but I do love them as a couple, so they get a pass. They're just really weird.
All right, be strong, babies. Be strong. Especially not with my wife's expensive taste. She just loves precious gems.
This is by far the weirdest relationship I've ever seen in a piece of animation. This is just the case of a man and his wife who he may or may not have made himself, and then given a personality that's completely in his head. Considering how much of Flapjack revolves around eating candy, and the fact that Peppermint Larry owns the candy barrel where he serves candy to be consumed, I don't understand or want to understand how his wife is made of candy. Does his wife have a moral problem with his husband's business practices? Is she disgusted by the fact that he's basically serving her flesh to customers every day to pay their bills? Or is she just a bunch of candy and I'm reading into it too much? Either way, Peppermint Larry has a lot of explaining to do.
Candy's my life. Candy's my wife.
Candy Wife also is very scandalous, it seems, as she's had an affair with Captain Knuckles in multiple episodes, including Just When Kisses All and Parfait Storm, implying that there could be some sort of love triangle going on between Knuckles, Larry, and Candy Wife.
This happens every year. Every year.
Who are you, Candy Wife?
Also, if you look in the series, Candy Wife low-key abuses Peppermint Larry.
What did you do to my treat? You put something in it, didn't you?
Which makes me wonder, if Candy Wife isn't real, is Larry punishing himself on purpose? There's just so many questions that come with Candy Wife. I love it. She's definitely my favorite character in Flapjack, but I gotta give him the title for the weirdest couple in animation.
Candy Wife's got a candy flu.
Well, there you guys have it. Those were 10 of the strangest WTF couples in all of animation. Makes you believe in love, doesn't it? If a plankton and a supercomputer can find love, so can you, dear viewer. So go on out there, call your crush, text your crush, mail a letter to your crush. Go for it. And I guarantee you, it may or may not work out, but at least you tried. I'm proud of you. But as always, what do you guys think? Do these couples seem weird to you? Do they not? Let us know in those comments down below. Let us know if we missed any. If you have a weirder couple, maybe we can do a part 2 next year. If you want to consider helping out the Roundtable, you can become a member of the channel or support us on Patreon. There you can get exclusive access to scripts and avatars, and you'll know that you're helping us out. As always, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like, subscribe to stay in the loop with all things animation, guys. I'm Retro Nemo. These were the top 10 most WTF couples in cartoons, and I'll see you next time. Peace.